Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I'm going to make another scrapbooking page and I'm using a new kit. It's the Wildflower birthday kit and you get this whole pack that has lots of die cuts, paper, card, double-sided card so that it's different colours on both sides, and then some of the exclusive papers. And the kit itself is called Wildflower Celebration Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. Wow, that's quite a mouthful. But I'm going to make layout number 1. And I'm making it for my daughter's birthdays. And what I'm going to do this time, instead of doing one whole page and then doing the second page, I'm finding it easier to do the base for both pages before you put the photographs on, just to make sure that you've got all these pieces lined up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the base pages and then I'm going to put the photographs on at the end. So I've already cut all the pieces that I need for project 1. And it's split into 2 pieces. So I've got page 1 and page 2 already cut, ready to go. And all I did was looked through the instructions, chose the paper and the cardstock and cut it as it said. And let me move that to one side. So I'm going to start with the left-hand side page. And if you notice, it's on a piece of designer series paper. It's not on a piece of cardstock, this one. I've noticed that some of the kits, they have a cardstock base with DSP on the top. Some have DSP with a cardstock layer on the top. And so this one just happens to be that it starts with a paper. So let me pop that over there, just out of the way. In fact, I'll put it at this side. And I'm going to get the pieces that I need. I know it's not that pack there. I know it's this pack here. And so it says to start with, mat the photos on 1H, 1L, I think. No, it could be an I. Q, R and S. I've done all those. Flag the ends of 1M, N, O and P. And they're actually for the second page. So I'm going to flag those when I get to the second page. So I will need to have my little ruler, so let's get that out. Excuse me. Right, to assemble, adhere 1A to the patterned paper to create the base page. So I know that 1A just happens to be this white card. I've started using these little like post-it notes almost and writing in pencil so that I can erase them or I can use them again. Because otherwise I was going through lots of little post-it notes and things. So I'm using those instead and seeing how they work. Okay, now let me see, which way do they have they have it this way. We've had some paper like this before. I think I used it on one of the Christmas cards with a snowman on a couple of years back. And it was in a big thick pack of all different kinds of celebrations. But I definitely recognise this paper. Okay, so here's my 12 by 12. And this white, I think it was cut to 11 by 11 and a half. And so it says to adhere this to here. And this is where sometimes I get a little bit confused because I have to follow all of these little measurements. And that's why I was saying I'm finding it easier to do 2 base pages at the same time. It's easier for me to measure once and then just match the other one up. But I don't know which way around this one goes. Well, let's see. You seem to have a wider bit at this side. This has to have a 1/2 inch. So let's just check that they're 1/2 inches. They are not. So let's see. It goes this way. And yeah, that would work out 1/2 inch. So it goes that way around. And you've got the wider border on the left-hand side. And I'm just going to put a little bit of the liquid glue on here just to hold it down. I think once it's in like a scrapbook binder, it isn't going to move about much anyway. I'm going to move that down just so I can see where my 1/2 inch. It looks like I can use my grid paper, so I know it's going to be here. And as long as that's nice and level, I'm going to move it actually across one little square like that, and then move it so that I measure it at 1/2. There we go. And just check it wasn't that way, it was this way. Again, lining it up at the edge like that. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. There we go. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to go over it with my bone folder. And that way I know it's nice and flat. Okay, so the next thing, that was 1A. Adhere 1B, C, D, E, F, and G. So let's find all those. There's G, there's F, here's B. These first. So adhere 1B, 1C. So they're the larger pieces of designer series paper. I'm going to put this back to being square. And let's see what the distance is from the top. This has to be 1.5 down. And how far out? Oh, I wonder if it just goes all the way to the edge. Let's see. So if I just make a little measure at 1.5, and let's go from the top here. So just a little tiny dot is all I'm doing. So it's going to measure up to those dots. And I don't see anything that says how far across it has to be. So I'm thinking it has to go all the way along and line up at the edge, and then this piece goes over the top like this. And I take my little B off, and there's no orientation to this paper, so I can glue that straight down. That's pretty on the back, isn't it? That looks like a soft sea foam, gingham almost. That's very pretty. Okay, so let's find our little marks. There they are. I'm just going to cover them, make sure that this is at the edge. I'm really loving getting these scrapbooks together. I actually bought a little scrapbook binder for them, and I started to put the pages in because I was getting too many of them. They were starting to, be quite the pile. I'm just erasing this because I should have my glue eraser instead. Let's take that off. I had my finger in the glue and then I put it straight down there. Doesn't look so good. But there we go. It's all gone now. Oh, a little bit left. There we go. If I haven't got glue on my fingers, I've got ink on my fingers. So, there we go. Right. So that was B. C, D, E, F, G. So D, E, G, F. Where did C go? Here we go. Here's C. This is the long piece. And the distance from the top for this one is going to be 3/4, I think. I don't know, that dot goes down to about there. Oh, that's where the paper is, yeah. I was seeing the white as well. I didn't need the white. So we're going to go down 3/4 from the top. So let's do about here. You'll see a little bit of the white. So there's 3/4. And again, I'm going to line it up right on the edge. Oops. You can always change the papers as well. You can put them the other way. If you wanted the stripes, you could do that. Don't be afraid to change things up. When I first started making these a couple of months ago, I thought I had to be exact, but some of them didn't work for me. My photographs were different shapes, or I didn't want to put as many photographs on. And now I'm not so worried about, you know, changing them, putting a different little embellishment on. I don't worry about that now. You make them your own. Okay, that's that one. Now, all of these little banners, let's see which one's first. B is on, C is on, so D is this one. And this is from the cardstock where it's dark on one side and lighter on the other. So you just use the back or the front, depending on what it asks you to do. D is actually on the lighter side. So I'm just going to go over this. When I cut with a trimmer, I'm quite heavy-handed, so I end up with a little ridge all the way around it. So I just have to remember to take that off. Okay, so D, it goes 4 inches up from the bottom and right up to the edge. So 4 inches up from the bottom. Let's pop the 4-inch mark there. It's going to be there. And I'm going to make one more just at the edge of the lighter coloured paper so that I can see. Right. Move that out of the way. I've got the lighter colour showing. And it looks like some of these overlap each other. So that's why I'm just being careful to make sure I do it the same way. So this is D, and just trying to hold it down level here. I don't know how far out. Okay, let's move it along. So it's flush with the edge. Let me find my mark, there it is. And let's just go over that with the bone folder, just to make sure it's nice and flat. There. Right. So that was D, so now we need E. Here's E, and it's going to be the darker side of it. And E has to, oh, it's measuring from the top. So that's 5 3/4 inches down from the top. Let's do this here. I want to put it onto the white just so that I can see the pencil mark. So 5 3/4 is there. So the top of it is going to go onto there, look. I will just make another little mark going across on this lighter paper, 5 3/4. Okay, and that's going to be the top of it. Make sure I line up both little marks and the very right hand side edge. I'm going over it with my bone folder just to make sure it's nice and flat and I don't get a ton of glue on my fingers. Okay, next one is going to be F, and that's this pretty floral on that side, but we're using the other side. And let me see which way around that goes. It's going to go this way, and it's going to be 3 inches up from the bottom. So a lot of measuring for this one. So 3. I'm going to make a tiny little mark on the white, and again on the DSP, on the one with the little cakes on. That's 3, yeah. Just like to double check. And the pattern, I thought it was going to go horizontally, but the pattern goes the other way around. I haven't cut it incorrectly, it just goes that way around. It's going to go here, and I'm going to line it up with that right hand side edge first, move it down slightly so that it hits my marks. Okay, and last of all is G. Let's take the little sticker off. G is going to be 4.5 down from the top. So get my little ruler again. I have been using sort of a larger ruler, but I'm finding that for these smaller measurements, the smaller ruler is actually easier for me to use. 4.5. It doesn't seem to get in the way as much. What do I got on here? Maybe from when I had that glue on my finger. Okay, now let's see. This is going to be the stripy side up. And just pop some glue on. And I'm going to line it up at the edge here first. Just slightly overlap till I can see my marks. There's my left-hand side mark. There it is. There we go. Oops. That one doesn't overlap. It just fits on the very top, fits flush. Okay, now I'm not going to put the photographs on. I'm not going to put the little embellishments on. I'm going to do this right-hand side page first. So let's move that one. And we'll get the right-hand side page, because can you see how all these pieces are going to match up? I'll just move that for a moment while I get all the pieces out. I love this way of just having all the page one pieces together. Makes it so much easier not having lots and lots of pieces on the table all at the same time. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my paper is going the same way. I know that 1J is going to fit, so it will be a mirror image of this one. So it's going to go this way. And you see how these patterns, they fit together as well. So that will just make it look nicer when you come to look at your whole binder, when it's all finished. Okay, so this is going to come down 1/2 inch. And I'm going to measure it just the same as I did before. I'm going to measure it against this one here. So it's just at the very top of this scallop. And I must admit that before I started using these kits, I didn't even know that you had 2-page spreads. I thought each page was going to be different. And when you put them sort of into your scrapbooking album, it would just be lots of separate pages. I didn't know you had 2-page spreads so that they, that they matched or anything. Well, let me just move that straight. So I'm learning so much. I'm going to put that level with the top. I don't think you can see any of the top of it. No. So that's on there. I'm going to turn it over. Just get my bone folder and go over that. Okay, now we need our patterned pieces. This is 1K, and take that off. And so can you see how this is going to match up? Then let's take this piece. This is going to be level here, so that when you have both pieces together in your binder, your eye will go across the whole of the pattern and it will look like one whole piece. I hope. So let's see, how far down does this one need to go? So this one is at 1.5 inches. So where did I put my ruler? Let's see, here it is. So 1.5 inches. I'm actually going to measure it sort of from the middle, just so that I can see it easier. 1.5. I like to do 2 little marks, just so that I know I'm in a straight line. So then this will go here like this. And just to double check, I'm going to put this one down. Yeah, that looks good. I can't wait to get these sort of all completed and just sit and look at all the pages. But you know, part of me, I don't want to finish them because I'm enjoying making them so much. How many pages can you put in a scrapbook album? I don't even know. I did buy some little extenders. I just got them from Amazon. Just extenders so that I could put more pages in. But I truly don't know how many you can put in. Or how many you would want to put in. Or whether you just start a new album. Okay, right, let's see what's next. So that was K, now I need L, which is this one. And this goes down 1/2 inch from the top. Was it 1/2 inch? No, it's 3/4 inch. Good job I checked that. So 3/4 inch. I thought I'd remembered it being 1/2, but luckily for me, it wasn't. There we go. So I'm going to put that there. Again, I'm just going to double check with my other piece that if I put it there, yep, that's going to be right. I just have a worry that the pages won't be right, and when you look at them together, whoops, it will just jump out, and everybody would be able to tell that I put it in the wrong place. Okay, so I'm lining up my 2 dots on the top, making sure that it's level and flush at the left-hand side. And let me just see, now I've got glue on my arm from dropping that piece. I've got some little wipes, but never mind. Oh, that's not quite straight. Let's move that across a little bit. Look, that very bottom piece, whoops, it's just not quite straight. There we are. There we are, now it is. Let's push that down with my bone folder. Okay. Got glue on my fingers here. Okay, next piece. I need M. M is going to be this one, and then N is here. So M goes on first, and let's have a little look at the measurements for it. Oh, said you had to banner the ends, didn't it? On that last page, it said these pieces, flag the ends, M-N-O-P. So let's do that, M-N-O-P. I'm going to flag it on one of them, and then I'm going to hold it over the other pieces. Now, they don't seem to have too shallow an end, but it doesn't matter. We'll do it just how we want to do it. That's going to be 1 1/4. So the middle is going to be 5/8, which is there. Okay, let me see how deep I'd like this. Let's cut it down. If you have a punch that banners the ends, that's, you know, you could use that as well. I'm just going to do it by sight here. If I go halfway, and I always turn mine over the other way just to do the other half. Yep, I like that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it on these other pieces. And this way, I know I've got the exact same. So when they're all together, it doesn't look like you've got one that's really deep, a shallow one, no, a longer one, a shorter one. I know that I've got it exactly the same. Now, let me just get my little eraser there. And I'll just cut these other little pieces out before I start to put them onto the page. Does anybody else have this pack? It's been out a little while, and I did buy it probably about 5-6 weeks ago. I just haven't got around to making it yet. And I'm only just getting around to doing birthday card ones, or birthdays for each of the children. So I've not got many made for birthdays. Right, let's go back to this one. That one we can put away. So M is first. M is this one here, and it's going to come up. I don't know if we're looking at it from the top or the bottom. I can't quite tell. I think it goes up 4, but I'm going to check on this one. Where did it go? Yeah, 4. So I am going to make a little mark at 4. Let's start at the bottom there, and we'll do a little mark here and there, and I'm going to go in just a little bit and make my other mark on that birthday paper, which is a bit lighter, so that we can see it easier, and pop it across here. Yeah, that's it. So let's pop some glue on here. I keep sort of changing my mind between using liquid glue, tear and tape, stamping seal. I've not really worked out what I like best. I'm not the cleanest person with liquid glue anyway. I find it sometimes it's just a bit too runny, or it oozes out a little bit. I like it for cards, but I'm not sure about for my scrapbooking yet. Yeah, let's put those over the lines. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have a favourite yet. Does anybody else have a favourite? What kind of adhesive do you like best for these? N is going to come down 5 3/4. So down from the top. Oh, it's really making me do lots of work today. So there's 5 3/4. I'm going to make another little mark over at the side here, just onto the white. There. Maybe I need to make more scrapbooks before I can decide. I made a couple of extra pages for my son's book last week, and I had some little die cuts that I wanted to use, and I used some of the adhesive sheets that Stampin' Up sells. And I quite like that too, but that would be much too expensive to make them all out of that. Okay, let's move that across to the end. So maybe it depends what you're sticking down as well. Like if it's cardstock, you maybe need something a little bit stronger than if it's just paper. Or if you want to make them into stickers, then the double-sided adhesive would work best. I'm not sure yet. Okay, where's O? That's this pink one. Take that off. O is going to go up 3 inches from the bottom. I'm going to check on this one. Yes, it does. So 3 inches from the bottom. See how much easier it is if you do the 2 bases first, and you can just keep referring to the first piece that you've already done. So it's going to overlap slightly, and it's going to go over here like that. Yeah. I just wanted to check that it overlapped this one. And it seems to. So I think we're on the right track today. Where's my little marks? There they go. Just cover them slightly. There we are. Just press it down with my bone folder. Okay, and the last one is P. Let's take that off. And P is going to be 4.5 from the top. So, oh, it's too tricky to see on that blue paper. So let's move it over onto the birthday paper. And I think this is the one that fitted just about flush. I think it was almost, it is flush. Yeah, check on this one. So if I put that there, I love how these little banners line up. Oops. Let's see, so this would be, yeah, that would be flush across there. Very nice. What a nice easy layout. And a good way to use, you know, like lots of narrow scraps almost of your design series papers. I might make one of the birthday sheets for my son using this layout, but with different paper. There we go. There we are, that's flush. Yeah, I think this is a really nice way to learn different layouts as well, to get a kit or a couple of kits and see different ideas and then see how you can change them. Okay, so then it says to put the embellishments on. Right, so I'm going to pop both together because I just want to see how it's going to lay before I start to put all my other pieces on. I know it's not quite straight here. It looks like it doesn't line up. It does. It's because I've got it laid on my camera mount and that's just making it lift up a little bit. Now for this one, I decided that I don't want to put this piece on. I want to put more photographs on. Let me just put the lid on my glue a moment. So because I want to put more photographs on, I can't fit that as well. But I know that I'm going to put them over here. I've got them all ready. I've cut them all already as well. I just want to see how they fit. Check that they do fit. So I'm going to do 4 like this. I want to leave a gap between because I want to put a 5th card on, a 5th photograph. And so I'm going to need it to like balance over the top. But I don't want to leave too much space. Oh, that would be easy if I could line it up on that orange line there. Let me just move these round. I had them so that my little girl's at the right hand side of the photographs here and the left hand side here. But I couldn't decide which ones I wanted. See, I wanted more. So, and then I thought I would just put one over here like this. Okay, so that would fit on like that. And I need to do my photograph slightly different for the left hand side. So I don't want to put all of this like this because I've got 3 photographs that I want to put on. So I'm just going to lay that there a moment. And they've only got 2 photographs. So I want to put 2, but I want them to line up with these top and bottom ones. I just want it to line up here. So here's one. Here's the second one that I want to use. And then I want to use the cake that her daddy made her for her 2nd birthday. So I want to use that as my main picture. And I'm going to put that over here. Okay, so all my photographs would fit. Let me move that one. Let's put this one together first. now that I know where they're going to go, I'm going to start with these two because it's so easy to line them up with the top of that orange banner or the bottom of the stripy banner. I've already got them ready, apart from one or two. I just haven't put the tape on the back. So let me do this one while we're getting ready. I've just put tear and tape on, and I found that that's plenty strong enough for photographs. I have backed them, and my photographs are cut down to 3.5, and the backing is 3 3/4. But the photographs that they used, I think they're 4x4s on 4 1/4. But as you know, my photographs are different sizes, and so I'm trying to make them fit, but I can't do their exact layouts. I could, if I took them, I suppose, maybe to Staples or to somewhere that prints, and I could take the photographs in and I could have the size changed. But really, I'm working with what I've got. I don't want to have to change a ton of things, and I don't mind just changing the layout slightly. Okay, let's put that there. Let's do a little measure at the side here so that I can make it the same on the other one. I'm going to do it at about 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to make it flush with the bottom of the stripes, like this. And at least then I know that they're all going to line up. It won't look strange when you look at the 2 pages together. There won't be one that's higher than the other. It will all just fit nicely. It is quite time consuming putting these together, but it's really enjoyable. It's really quite therapeutic. So although it's taking me a while, I'm enjoying it. And it's nice to be in my craft room making something different. Okay, now I've made this 1/2 inch, this 1/2 inch. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch between the top and the bottom as well. That way it'll just sit, it'll look square, won't it? Just look a little bit better. Oh, I haven't got any sticky on that one either. Let's pop some tape on here. I did start doing them when I prepped all the pages. And I'd used tear and tape to adhere the photographs to the white card as well. So I found that just holds nicely for photographs. Okay, let's make this level. I'm going to use my little guide here. I'm going to use the lines on the paper to line up the rest. There we go. And last one to go in the square. And then we've got that other little one that we're just going to pop over the top. If you didn't want to put one over the top, you could make it just the same as the picture for the examples. You could put 4 on with a little cutout over them as well. You might want to put some words, just to put, like 3rd birthday, or a month, or, just something to tell you where the photographs were taken. Just going to erase that little piece there. You probably won't see it anyway, because I've got this other photograph that's going over the top. Okay, now let's have a little look. I'm only going to sort of eyeball it. There we are. Okay, now I don't know if there's anything else on there. No, because I've changed that. I've put photo instead. Okay, so move that one across. Bring this one in. And I just want to make sure that I'm getting these with the 1/2 inch gap between, like we did for this right hand side one. So let's do a half inch and a 1/2 inch from the side. That's there and there. Let's take the backing off here. Is there some kind of a different grid that you can use to line things up like this? I don't know. Is there a tool that has a grid on that you can use, or do you just measure them with rulers? Not sure. Some of you more seasoned scrapbookers will be able to tell me, I'm sure. There we go. Right, let me just make sure I've got these level here. So we're going to go level with here, 1/2 inch in, and I'm using the paper and the cardstock here just to make sure that it's level. Makes it easy to line up. Let's take the one off here. This was my little one's 2nd birthday, as you probably could tell from the candles on the cake and everything. And this was actually first thing in the morning when she came down. These were taken just before a little family party that we had outside. So that's why she's in a little car here. Oops, let's pop that there. Again, we're going to put it, here's my 1/2 inch mark and my 1/2 inch mark at the bottom. And just lining it up with the pattern so that it's the same. There we go. Okay, let's move that one. Nearly finished. Now, I have this piece and I'm going to put this on here, but I am also going to use that little piece and do some writing. I might even still use the cake. Let's find these pieces. So they're on these die cuts. I've got 2 of them out because I thought they would be the 2 I used, but I haven't got the one out that says special birthday. Let's look for that one. Oh, special day, not special birthday. So here it is, these 2 pieces here. So if I just measure up where I think I want this photograph to go, and it doesn't matter, it's not lining up with anything on the right hand side, only this sort of photograph. So I might just line it up like that, and then let's take that off. Then this little piece can go behind. Oh, actually, I might be able to cut that in half. I don't need all of it. And then I could maybe use some on another project. I just need a little bit to be able to write. And then let's see where the special day piece goes. It's going to go just over the top. Oh, I might need a little bit more then. I might need a little bit more like that. And then I might still put this cake on. I might just do it down here, look, next to the cake. Right, I think that's how it's going to be. I'm going to put this photograph down, but I'm not going to adhere this top piece all the way across. I might just leave that so I can slide this one in once I've got this one settled. I thought I could maybe save a piece of that, but not so sure. Right, I'm going to put this down here. Oh, do you know, I'm just going to measure it, just so that I've got the bottom at least level. That would be about 2 inches to go to there. So let's try 2 1/4. Yeah, I think I like that. So I'm just going to give myself some lines. Just for the bottom of the card. The little cardstock. I'm not going to push down on this piece at the top. Just going to pop that there. Like that. And then I'm just going to leave that little pocket piece there so I can push this down. I'm just going to turn that around. It's got a little bend on it. I don't think it'll make any difference. But... And then I'm going to use one of the white lines on it to make sure it's level. There we go. Now I can press that down. Might just pop a little bit of adhesive behind this so that it doesn't flap about too much. There we go. Let's pop that away. We don't need that anymore. Okay, next thing we do need is just a little piece that says special day. And they have it going all across. Let's take those off. But you could change those. Now, you could use any of the sentiments. I know that you would use them normally on, say, another page, but you could change them, make your pages just how you want. So if I put this here and here, and then I've got just enough room to write. Okay. Pop that just like that, and then this piece over here. And then I will just add a little sentiment on there. And let's have a look. Oh, the sun's coming out now for early evening. See how I'm getting these little barks on the pages? Pretty. Oh, I like that. Very pretty. I don't know if you can see both pages together. I'll just sort of slowly move them across. I love this layout with the little banners. Very, very nice. I will use that again. I'll use different paper and different sentiments, but I will use that again. So there we are. That's my 2 pages ready to go into her little scrapbook album. Thanks so much for watching me, everybody. I'll take a picture of this and I'll upload the video, and then you can see exactly what I did. Thanks again. Enjoy your scrapbooking. I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.